What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Whenever I put up videos about diet or different, nutritional things, I get a lot of questions like immediately after, like within the day after, even within a couple hours after, they immediately start hitting. And I think sometimes we need to go back to basics, because the questions that people are asking me, first of all, you need to know what fats, proteins, and carbs are, how they work, what their functions are in the body, what the different types of carbs, proteins, and fats do. You need to know all that stuff. You need to know how to weigh your food on a digital scale. And you need to know that 40 grams of protein is not 40 grams of chicken. You need to know all these things. And then I'll get the question, like, those are the basics that you need to know. You need to know that shit before you even embark on trying to figure out how to fix a diet. You need to know that the diet has to work with the training and the cardio together for optimal metabolism stimulation, recovery, and overall your central nervous system to be recovered also, not just the muscular system. So those things have to work together, and those are basics. And then I get the the question, Jerry, what's the most optimal way for me to use keto to drop weight? And it's like, there is no fucking optimal way. That's what you guys are not getting. You're looking for a specific answer to a question that there is no answer for. And I've told you guys this over and over again. Like, I'll have people say, Jerry, how do I drop 20% body fat on keto? And it's like, well, you've been trying to drop 20% body fat, you need to forget about keto. You need to learn how to fucking eat. You need to learn how to train. If you're trying to drop 20% body fat, you're looking for an easy answer, for an easy fix to a problem that's more complicated than what you see on the surface. And that's the problem. The problem is it's a lot more complicated than you think it is. You want the, like, oh, just eat salad and you'll drop 25 pounds and feel great. That's not how it works. Even if you were to use keto to drop 20% body fat, I can almost guarantee you when you get there, you will fucking go off keto because you won't be able to sustain it, because it was a quick fix and you're looking at it as just a way to drop weight, and you'll gain all the weight back, if not more. I can guarantee you're going to gorge yourself and gain the weight back. You're going to fuck your metabolism up and you're going to be a mess. That's just what's going to happen. There is a very specific mindset that people have, and it's not a long-term, it's not a lifestyle change. What it is, well, this is not sustainable. Fucking bullshit. Anything is sustainable. Anything. Well, except for starvation, you're gonna die. Starvation, dehydration, you're gonna die. But you can sustain only drinking water and not soda and not fucking Crystal Light, and that is sustainable for the rest of your fucking life. The rest of your life. It is sustainable to be on a keto diet the rest of your fucking life. It is sustainable to be on high carbs the rest of your life. You could sustain fucking anything, but it starts here. And that's the problem. People need to, they're trying to work on what's out on the outside first, but you guys aren't working on what's the inside. You need to get that mental switch to flip to understand that, look, this is not just a thing for 12 weeks to lose weight. Yes, you'll lose weight in 12 weeks, but anybody in the fucking world can lose weight in 12 weeks. Anybody can do a contest, but can you sustain it year round? I've had trouble myself doing it. I've sustained a low body fat, eating a certain way for over a year and a half at a time. Doing cardio for that periods of time too. There are times that I decide I'm not going to do it. I'm fucking sick of doing it, and I stop doing it, and I avert going back to being fatter and more unhealthy, and my cardiovascular system and respiratory system gets fucked up because it's not being exercised and worked and being healthy, and then I go back to it again. But the bottom line is, mentally, I understand that it's sustainable for the rest of my life, but I get lazy and I give up. And I accept that fact about myself, and when it's time to do it again, I make that decision, I flip the switch, and I do it. And I do understand that there's a balance of back and forth throughout life. Like, you're going to want to do things, you're going to not want to do things. But if you want to look and feel a certain way and be a certain percent body fat, you're going to be doing that shit for the rest of your life. I mean, that's it. Like, if you want to fucking be lean and you're eating 150 grams of carbs and doing cardio and shit, you know what? You're going to be on low carbs for the rest of your fucking life. And that's okay. That's sustainable. It's not unhealthy. It's only unhealthy if your blood work's all fucked up and you're screwing yourself up, or if you have a thyroid problem. There's plenty of people out there who don't eat a lot of food, or they don't eat a lot of carbohydrates, and they're perfectly fucking healthy. So be careful about the whole push for more carbs, more carbs. Did you ever notice that, and I was talking about this with somebody, and these are basics, fucking basics. I was talking about this in email with somebody the other night, and he said, I was doing like these 800-gram carb refeeds. I was like, what the fuck? And he was eating 200 grams of carbs a day to begin with. So he was doing like 200 grams of carbs a day, 800 grams of carb refeeds, and he was getting fatter. And the guy kept telling him he's doing it wrong, and the guy he was working with, and I'm like, dude, you are not even burning off 200 carbohydrates throughout the day. So those 200 grams of carbs you're taking, carbohydrates that you take in should only be to replace what you burnt off. Nothing more. This whole like, well, fat burns in the fucking flame of carbohydrates. That's true with a fast metabolism, but it's only a certain amount of carbohydrates. It's not like the more carbohydrates you eat, the faster your metabolism gets. The more carbs you eat, for most people, you get fatter. And this guy saw that and he was like, I don't understand. He was like, all these people like on YouTube and Instagram, they're pushing carbs, 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 and junk food. And I'm like, do you know why? Because all the shit out there, I mean, let's say you hire me and I tell you, look, man, you got to go no carbs. Do you really want to pay me? Fucking douchebag. Do you really want to pay me to tell you not to do carbs, or do you want to pay the guy who's going to tell you to eat Pop-Tarts and fucking candy all the time? You're going to pay them. They use it as a sales tactic. You know, and then they say, well, all the studies, this, studies, that. Do you know how many studies are warped because of the big food companies? Think about it like this. All the big food companies that are coming up with these new foods and all this stuff, they make all the money off carbohydrates, sugars, grains, shit like that. It's not the money in the meats. The meat industry is not the fucking big food companies. So you have this kind of blatant, like, in-your-face carbs pushed, and people don't even understand it. So like, they don't even know the basics about how carbs work in their body, what they actually do, how they need them, but they're trying to find these specific diets of like 800 gram of carb refeeds. Motherfucker, I'm over 200 pounds, active as fuck, with a decent amount of muscle, and I'm very strong for my size. And you think I need 800 grams of carbs? If I don't need it and you're fatter than I am and weaker than I am, then you don't need it. And you're continuing to get fatter, then you don't need it. So go back to basics. And another thing is, you know, I get emails, again, back to basics, with people going, Jerry, you know, I'm 25% body fat. I want to get down to like 8% body fat, which is a fucking huge goal if you've never done it and you have a hard time losing fat. And they go, you know, I've tried this, I've tried that, and I'm just about, you know, I've given up every time. I just basically want to take some kind of steroid or drug to get me lean, which doesn't exist, first of all. So it's like, okay, you failed a couple times because you don't know the right information about the basics, and you've given up and want to take the easy route, and you're asking me to fucking tell you what to take. There's nothing out there you can take except for DNP, and even that shit you have to work out. If you're going to jump from 25 to 8% body fat, you have to work out, you have to fucking diet, and you have to fucking do cardio. That's how you get there. Otherwise, you're just going to fucking get sick, burn a few pounds of fat that you normally could burn with just dieting and training anyways, and feel like shit. So bottom line is, there's nothing out there that's magically going to make you lose weight. No matter what ad says anything, no matter what fucking trainer tells you, no matter what guru tells you, there's nothing out there that's going to drop you from 25% body fat to 8% body fat if your diet's fucked up, if your training's fucked up, and you're not doing cardio, period. That's just how it is. And, you know, again, the basics. Go back to the fucking basics. How do these macronutrients work? What are the survival mechanisms of them? What do they actually do in the body? Don't think about the vain use, as in, I want to look good, so I'm going to go on fitness forums. And then you Google it, and you fucking pops up first thing is fucking bodybuilding.com fucking body space forum. And you go in there with those fucking ring-ding assholes who know shit, look like shit, and regurgitate the most absurd fucking things, when you could actually just Google, just fucking Google, you know, like, biologically, how do carbohydrates work? And body space ain't gonna pop up. You're gonna get different medical studies. You're gonna get different biology papers that have been published. You're gonna get shit like that about how that works. You know, back in the day, people like Dan Duchaine, Bill Phillips, you know, the guys who really pioneered these diets and stuff, Mauro Di Pasquale, shit, I mean, even, what's his name, Atkins, Dr. Atkins, all these people that pioneered these diets weren't looking about a vain way to fucking look better. They actually took the medical studies and the medical research and the stuff that was actually how these things worked scientifically, and they converted it into, well, we can lose weight by doing this, we can lose fat by doing that, we can build muscle by doing this. But all that stuff was done by doctors, by people who knew what the fuck they were doing, by people who gave a shit other than fucking Tommy G in the fucking body space forum who says you need 100 grams of carbohydrates every hour to fucking be a bodybuilder. Meanwhile, he looks like a fucking stick. He's got fat around his fucking stomach. He hasn't benched over 225 his entire fucking life, and he claims to be future IFBB pro, but now he's going to be future physique IFBB pro, hasn't done a show yet, and you're listening to him. He doesn't even know the basics. So bottom line is, do your own research. Fucking sliding all over the snow over here. Do your research, you know, look up the basics, and don't look them up as far as bodybuilding and fitness. Look them up as far as how they actually work in the body for survival and biologically and stuff like that. And you're going to learn a lot more about this shit. And then all of a sudden things are going to kind of come to light. And beware, this is hard. Looking up that stuff is not like looking it up in a forum. When you're reading fucking studies and stuff like that, some of them are confusing. And it's easy to kind of be like, oh, I don't want to do this because it's fucking hard. Stop looking for the easy way out. I didn't understand this shit when I first started either, but I knew the key to learning how to do this shit was in those papers, in those studies, was in the stuff that the medical doctors were producing, not the fucking idiots in the gym. And that's why I went back to it over and over again until I finally learned it. And even now, I have concepts that I grasp that I couldn't grasp back then, and I'll go back now and I'll grasp concepts that I couldn't understand back then that have been there all along. But the bottom line is, they're like these little gold nuggets of wisdom that are sitting there waiting for you to take, that are just free. They're just out there, but nobody wants the basics. They want the easy route and ask fucking Jimmy Jackoff how to fucking do it. Then you keep failing and asking me. Then I have to repeat myself fucking 100 times. Excuse me, and make videos like this, directing you guys again where to get it. So please do your own research. Biowestertraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biowestertraining.com is a blog, and it's to do your own research, basics, bicep, and we're out.